speed.
Hey everyone, it's Jason, and welcome back to Martial Arts Theater 3000. Today we're returning to the Venom Mob Countdown, so let's just jump right back into it. Coming in at number 7, we have Rebel Intruders, also known as Killer Army. Released in 1980, this has always been a personal favorite of mine ever since I first saw it way back in the early 90s, and it's just such an ambitious film for the Venoms. When you watch the opening credits, you'll see there are 3 assistant directors on this. So instead of like a small set, they have like a large city. Now it's all indoors, of course, at Shaw Brothers Studios, but they definitely do a good job of making the city feel larger, and the Killer Army itself has different factions led by different villains. And that's what makes this one stand out a bit. You have the good guys, the Venoms, and then you have the villains, but they also have their infighting, the villains. Now, they're kind of jockeying for positions. There's a lot of politics going on, and it makes it like a really complex and enriched story, and it all unfolds in such an interesting way. And one of the greatest qualities of this film is the fact that it's the full Venom lineup, and they're all at the height of their powers. You have Guok Choi, and my favorite type of role for him, a very serious and heroic role. And Lo Mang is kind of the counterbalance here in an equal heroic role, but he's also a lot more jovial than normal, and he actually seems to just be having a great time in this one until, horrible things happen to him per the norm. Chang Sheng is so solid in this one. Excellent choreography throughout, and he really just shows off all of his skills. Sun Chen is underutilized like he normally is, but he does an awesome job, and he definitely steps into the role like he normally does, where you're not sure what side he's really on. And Liu Fang is definitely in his villain role as usual, but he's a little bit more laid back in this one. He's more orchestrating everything instead of being right down in the mix of it. Wang Li is the man down in the trenches that kind of steps into the main villain role, I'd say. And as I said earlier, it's great to see all these different factions led by different villains. You have Yu Tai Ping, who really steps up in this film, does an awesome job. He's the knife thrower from 2 Champions of Shaolin. He's great with the whip. He's just a great weapons artist. And I always crack up at the scene of Sung Yang. He puts on these huge iron fists. I believe that's the name of his faction, the Iron Fist Clan. And it's just a ridiculous weapon, but it's really cool. And this has like a throwback to Crippled Avengers with Sung Yang and Sun Chen finding themselves in a similar scenario, and this time it doesn't work out well for either of them. For the plot and acting in this one, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I think the complexity of the villains and their backstabbing and plotting against each other really brings this film up a notch. And you have the Venoms they're all on fire. They're just in such a great mode. They're working together. And sadly, outside of 10 Tigers of Kwantung, this is pretty much the final full Venom Mob lineup film that has all of them in it. For the action and fighting, I'm going to give this one a 9.5 out of 10. There is just so many great fights. They're so well dispersed. There's not long lulls in the action. It's just fight after fight with excellent choreography, and it's just amazing. Now, one thing about the fights in this one that did stand out that I noticed is that for the finale of each fight scene, or like the killing move, they go for some very complex shots where everything goes in slow-mo. And this happens like 4 or 5 times in this movie. They were definitely going for this effect, but sometimes I don't know if the editing wasn't perfect on what they were attempting, and they don't quite stick the landing. So it'll be them all flying in the air in slow-mo, and then boom, they fall and one's dead, and you're like, wait, how did he die? And I think it's just they were just really shooting for the stars on these fight scenes in this one, and they wanted to try something unique, but a couple of them, it's just not clear exactly what the killing move was and what happened, but it still doesn't detract from the overall fight scenes, and they'll blow you away in this one. For ways to watch on this one, it's actually not looking like there's too many online options at the moment on YouTube to rent or anything like that. This has always been a really rare one, but the Koch media version that I got from the German Amazon, I did a video overview of that specific Blu-ray, and I'll put the link down in the description. And I'm not sure what was going on with this particular Blu-ray because the restoration on this one looks so jaw-dropping. It stands above even the other Koch Media releases. So I do really recommend that Koch Media version until we get a proper release in the States or it comes out in maybe a future box set. So that's Rebel Intruders, also known as Killer Army, coming in at number 7. Thanks, guys, for following along on this Venom Mob countdown. I hope you've been enjoying it. And if you like these videos, if you can hit the like button and subscribe, it definitely will help the channel. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.